Good morning. Thank you all for being here today. I'm Francis Collins, Director of the National Institutes of Health, NIH, and I am proud to have the honor of welcoming you here to the East Room of the White House for a very special scientific announcement by the President. Investing in biomedical research is one of the wisest choices we can make as a nation.
We're going to start the When Humans Become Cyborg session. You know, I always want to be a cyborg. I'm waiting for the day to become one, but let's see. Like today, we like to really talk about the recent developments of brain-computer interface and how that's really blurring the line between man and machine. And that's also opening up many, many questions about social, cultural, and ethical implications of these technologies.
We as a country are extraordinarily fortunate to have a leader who places such a high value on science to unlock the mysteries of disease and discover new ways of overcoming them. But now we stand at the edge of another frontier in biomedicine and biological research, which the President will describe in a moment.
This is actually sort of where the brain-computer interfaces are today. One reason I like to show this picture is to give a sense of actually where the technology is at the moment, which is that it's a lot of wiring. So although we would like to think of ourselves as being able to sort of increasingly adopt a lifestyle where we are continually hooked up to a computer or a machine that helps enhance our capabilities, particularly our intellectual capabilities. So we think about being wired into the internet, getting our brains to upload information. But this represents actually the technology problem, which is we have to solve the wiring problem. And so there are people, you know, like Elon Musk, who are trying to work on closed loop systems where the read of the brain and the input into the brain all happens within the brain in an implant that's put just underneath the skull.
It's exactly that innovation that holds immense potential, not just for the families whose lives it will change, but for also spurring new jobs and business opportunities. The President understands this implicitly. He knows the importance of connecting scientific advances with solid science policy, and he knows the power of partnership. And that's why he has brought us all together here today. Science agencies within the government, as well as philanthropic foundations and leaders in the private sector, to marshal our talents and take on this next big challenge. So without further ado, it is a great personal privilege and a high honor to introduce our scientist-in-chief, the President of the United States, Barack Obama.
So this is all data collection. It's all exciting, all new technologies, but the infrastructure that is used to collect that data, to share that data, is nothing new under the sun. And we know the problems that actually can emerge out of that. So if our brains are connected and you record, for instance, what are you possibly thinking, what are you, basically what areas of your brain are being stimulated at a certain point. There is even like devices that can collect what you're seeing, measuring your feelings either through facial recognition devices, micro muscle movements, and so on.
And if you begin to look down the road, I think Elima already talked about brain implants. Certainly we know about deep brain stimulation. That is being used to treat people with pain, Parkinson's, tremors, and depression. A third of people with depression are resistant to drugs. So in fact, electrical stimulation is a way to go. So that's also a medical indication.
Computer chips, GPS technology, the internet. All these things grew out of government investments in basic research, and sometimes, in fact, some of the best products and services spin off completely from unintended research that nobody expected to have certain applications. Businesses then use that technology to create countless new jobs. So the founders of Google got their early support from the National Science Foundation. The Apollo project that put a man on the moon also gave us, eventually, CAT scans. And every dollar we spend to map the human genome has returned $140 to our economy. $1 of investment, $140 in return. Dr. Collins helped lead that genome effort, and that's why we thought it was appropriate to have him here to announce the next great American project, and that's what we're calling the BRAIN Initiative.
The major investors in this area is the military, so both certainly in the UK and in the US and probably elsewhere, because these are technologies that will enhance or, are certainly thought to enhance human capacities in ways that will also protect soldiers, but enable us to do much more than we can already. And so we've been talking to military officers around the world. We're in the third wave of data collection, so we don't have any concrete findings to share at the moment. But we've been talking to them about their neural implants. If they were to have, for example, a retinal implant that enhanced their sight capabilities, or a cochlear implant that allowed them to hear, across great distances. What are the ethical issues that come up for them? And one issue that's really interesting is bodily integrity.
As humans, we can identify galaxies light years away. We can study particles smaller than an atom, but we still haven't unlocked the mystery of the 3 pounds of matter that sits between our ears. Today, scientists possess the capability to study individual neurons and figure out the main functions of certain areas of the brain. But a human brain contains almost 100 billion neurons, making trillions of connections. So Dr. Collins says it's like listening to the string section and trying to figure out what the whole orchestra sounds like. So as a result, we're still unable to cure diseases like Alzheimer's or autism, or fully reverse the effects of a stroke. And the most powerful computer in the world isn't nearly as intuitive as the one we're born with. There's this enormous mystery waiting to be unlocked. And the BRAIN Initiative will change that by giving scientists the tools they need to get a dynamic picture of the brain in action and better understand how we think and how we learn and how we remember. And that knowledge will be transformative.
I'm healthy, I don't really have any impairments, but in 5 years or 10 years' time, what kind of brain-computer interface products or applications can I be using? Can I be, Ronaldo, you've been making documentaries about technology. Do you have any ideas about what I could be?
Oh my gosh, I'll definitely leave that for you. I'm the lawyer in the room.
Any examples that I could be using in the next 5-10 years?
Well, I think you're already using the most sophisticated brain-computer interface that we have available, that we underestimate, and it's the thing you held up before. That is an unbelievably powerful machine that is, it's not actually wired into your brain, but there's definitely connectivity happening there, and it's changed you, it's enhanced you already.
Yes.
You think that could be something in my brain in the next 10 years, maybe a chip in my brain that every time I
That's
get
what Elon Musk would like to do. Yeah.